And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast. After a week off because of the wonderful Zurich Championship, we are back to preview the wonderful 2022 Mexico Open. It just gets better and better right now as we wait to get back in. We were spoiled, but now we're hitting that lull here for a little bit. You can find myself on Twitter at BDintric, the podcast at Always Press DFS, and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how we doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I didn't catch any of the Zurich. I made one lineup because the Junkies had a tournament. So I made one lineup literally at like 8 o'clock the night before my time, so 11 o'clock your time.
How did it do?
Cashed. It cashed.
Did you?
Yeah. 5 of 6. I thought I had 6 of 6 until my super like dart throw U line combo, who I can't remember his partner was at this point. They went like 4 over on Friday. They were in the cut line before. They said to shoot even par, and they were in.
I made 2 lineups. I made one for like, my kind of weekly contest run like Junkies, and did some research on that one and like picked some guys that via the model that I thought would do well, and it got 1 out of 6. And then I went and the 1 out of 6 was Scheffler, and then I went and just kind of made another lineup, just kind of off of some different shit, and it was 5 of 6 and it cashed. So yeah, I mean, dude, the week was. I'm just glad we didn't have a podcast. I sound dumb enough anyways every week, but like I would have sounded really stupid with the guys I liked last week. Like, I wouldn't have thought that Sergio and Tommy Fleetwood would miss the cut, but
yeah, that's a wild one. There's always a few that make you kind of scratch your head, but most of the big dogs made it through the weekend. It's finding those darts. Like I had that Cam Young. I literally was just throwing things out. Like there were certain groups I had no idea who they were. Like Skins, like with 2 N's. He's in this week's tournament too, by the way.
David Skins, yeah.
He's in this week too, by the way, but couldn't have sold you on that. Played.
Bill Haas and Jay Haas made the fucking cut.
Yeah, the oldest cut maker ever in Bill Haas. Like, all the rules, like somehow, I know it's a PGA Tour event, but the fact that tournament qualifies for the same rules and like awards and whatever records as real tournaments blows my mind. But that's fine, I guess. So yeah. It's good, like to mix it up. Like we have fun. That's kind of how these like tournaments we play. Let's go play best ball. Let's go do stuff like that. I get it, but I think it'd be more like it was cool seeing more big names than usual there. I'll say that much. Like you got some more than usual, but when you have Bill and Jay Haas and you have like some of these other guys, you're just like, really? This is what we're doing right now? Like with all the cool young talent we have right now, like get Ricky in this. I don't care. Like put Ricky with like JT or something. Let's get goofy with it. I think stuff like that would be more entertaining, but that's just me. And I don't care because I'm probably not going to watch it anyways.
All right. I'm with you. So, I'm ready to move on to.
Yeah. Jesse and I were talking before the show. Our goal is to hopefully get 30 minutes into this. It might not make it that far. Just going to throw it out there now. This is a new golf course. Technically isn't a new tournament, even though it kind of is a new tournament.
Was this the old WGC?
I think it's taking the place of it. There used to be a Mexico Open.
Right, the WGC Mexico, yes.
But I don't think it's a WGC is the thing.
Well, yeah, no, it's obviously not WGC anymore because
no, but okay, yeah, but this was like there was like an older before the WGC. There was already a Mexico Open.
I got you.
Before the WGC, where it was a lot of people like this that showed up to play golf and try to win their tour card. It's basically another Corrales, another Puerto Rico, except there's no alternate event this week, which we usually get on the schedule. So fun times with that. Not sure if you have any past event history or not because there hasn't been a ton.
I didn't even look it up. I didn't think there was anything.
It's old. Like I can't remember some of the names. I actually heard Mayo go through them. I think Lee Trevino won here. Stuff like that.
At this golf course or just at this
tournament?
Event?
The original Mexico Open. Wayback Machine. So, yeah, just take that.
Club Pro guy, maybe? He might have won.
I guarantee you he's done something on this golf course, maybe legally or illegally. He's probably done something on this golf course. If anybody should take advantage of this bad week, he needs to be all over social media.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is his Open. Like this is what he needs. He needs to be the John Daly and have a booth at Hooters right down the road selling stuff right now. Like this is the Club Pro guys week. You're 100% correct with that.
It's a missed opportunity for him to get an exemption.
Oh, dude, how cool. He'd have to have like a Zorro mask on or something to like hide his identity because like for God's sake, we find out who, like everybody that's on the grounds knows who he is because he works for PGA Tour, I believe.
Right.
But just to keep the illusion of it, I guess you have to wear something. It would be priceless to have him there, at least in like the Wednesday Pro-Am. Throw him out there. that'd be gold, pure gold. But the golf course, it's right outside of Puerto Vallarta. It's like a half hour away or something, about an hour, hour and a half from Guadalajara, which is a big city in Mexico. The Vedanta Vallarta course, that's where we're at. A little less than 7,500 yards. It's a par 71. It's a Greg Norman design, and Greg Norman designs resort courses for scoring. This used to be a par 73. They took 2 of the par 5s. There used to be 5 par 5s. Now there's there used to be like, I think it was 6 par 5s. There's 4 par 5s now. So instead of a par 73, it's a par 71. They tried to lengthen the course. They've added about 200 yards in length, as we know. It doesn't really stop a lot of these guys. The main defenses of this golf course is there's like close to 100 bunkers because Greg Norman loves bunkers. Maybe he's trying to tell us something else. He loves that mounds of sand. I don't know, but that's Greg Norman for you. There's water in play on, I believe, 11 different holes here. There's like little lakes all over the place. So he tried to make it like look pretty and, you know, be resorty. And then it's paspalum greens and paspalum fairways. So it's super sticky, super slow. So the putters, they're not going to be fast. This might be good or bad. Depends on how these guys like. Some guys love fast greens. Some guys like slow greens. I could see John Moran breaking something at some point because it's going to become a putter fest in the grand scheme of things. The fairways are large and you can bombs away. There will be an occasional bunker you have to navigate, but the rough isn't penal. As long as you stay out of the water, you might find a bunker, but you're going to survive. It's all about the approach game. A lot of approaches from 175 to 200, a few over 200. Attack the par 5s. Like I said, there's still 4 of them. There's 9 par 4s. There's 1 drivable par 4. Most it's less than 300 yards, but most par 4s are like 450 to 500. You have 5 par 3s on this golf course. And other than that, I'm going to stop talking about it because we're all purely speculating on how this golf course will play. The biggest thing is on paper, you should be able to bomb this place. And if your approach game's on point, if you get the hot putter, you're going to walk away with the winner, and it should be a birdie fest. The other thing is it is at sea level and it is close enough to the ocean. If it gets windy, you will get screwed that way. So it's the defense is it's windy and it's sticky, so it shouldn't roll out a lot. And so it's long, sticky, windy. That's their goal. We'll see what happens.
But it's a resort course, so it's designed to play easy. They don't want people out there grinding, you know, shooting 125 and getting pissed and not coming back ever. Yeah. So, yeah.
Like Jesse and I should be able to go play this course and not like we should still be able to shoot like 85 or better. That's like the goal with this course. Like Jesse, like for me, 85 is good. Jesse probably shoots like 77 or something while we're there.
Probably 67.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll probably go under par there. I'm sitting there with my 16 handicap going 85, hell yeah. But then like these pros, they should be. It's one of those, I'm looking forward to the cut line being like -7 on Friday and wanting to break things.
It'll be interesting. I mean, you know, obviously the wind is your unknown there, so it'd be, you know, so that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, like you said, I mean, like it's a terrible field and a brand new golf course, so everybody is going to be guessing.
Multi-entry time, boys.
But I don't disagree. I mean, you take some shots. I mean, you know, think 6 or 6 is going to be low, especially if there's going to be some major chalk, I would imagine, up top with some quote unquote safe guys, and if those guys miss, I mean, you know, it could be super low 6 to 6 percentage.
Remember, they're in Mexico, so Montezuma's revenge is safe from nobody.
That's
always a possibility as well.
An excellent point. That happens every single time that the PGA Tour goes outside the United States of America.
Someone gets the shit.
Yes, you aren't kidding.
Ask Jill Dahman. He got it down there at Corrales defending his title, and there's stories of him and Hubbard. And like Hubbard barely got through the 18th hole. He almost like literally down his leg. Stories are great. Like if you can find those on Twitter, they're phenomenal. But like Dahman backed out. He's in this field. Hubbard's in this field. A lot of dudes in here, so don't drink the water, folks. It is a resort course, so they should have enough bottled water to save the masses, but these guys find ways to do some weird stuff, so we'll see what happens. But do you have any key stats you're looking at, or?
I mean, I'm assume driving distance is going to matter, greens and regulation, and then, you know, obviously just somebody. I mean, you just got to get the guy who gets hot with his putter and just is making everything on whatever these greens are and however they putt. So. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult, man. I mean, to figure out. But that's what I'm waiting. And then par 5 scoring, I think, is going to be huge because it's going to be low anyways. You've got to get those par 5s.
Yeah, like birdie or better par 5s. Yep. And it's an approach game. As long as because like I said, they should be hitting their fairways pretty regularly. So long iron play because that'll help you on the par fives and the longer par fours. So keep those wonderful things in mind. We'll see how it plays out. But let's talk DK because it's fun because we had like 3 top 25 players in the world. Well, Berger backed out, so now we have 2. I think we have like 5 top 75 players, and then this is still a field of 144 people. So it's that says a lot to what's going on here. But 10K and above, you got John Rahm at 11.3, Finau at 10.4, Abe Answer, kind of the man, the myth, the legend for this tour from the country of Mexico, at 10.3. Kevin Na is at 10.1, and Patrick Reed has made his triumphant return to 5 figures at $10,000. Jesse, who do you like in this section?
I really want to say Rahm. I mean, I think he's like 4-1 or maybe 3-1 in the betting odds
already. I'll tell you, he's 3.5 to 1 now.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously the favorite, but the problem is this is not a U.S. Open, so it's not going to come down to who can make pars. It's going to come down to who can make a lot of putts, and he hasn't done that. Finau is pretty much the same way, in my opinion. I mean, I like the Abe Answer. We're in Mexico. He's got a little bit of extra incentive in the home country to win the home open. He's coming off 2 straight missed cuts and hadn't really played that great before that. I mean, his best finish, this year is 33rd at the Players Championship, which probably he just got on the right side of the draw at that one. I'm just going to play with Kevin Na, man. 10,100. People hate him anyways. And who wants to pay 10,100 for Kevin Na? Mm-hmm. That's who I'm going with up here. I won't play Patrick Reed. If you played any of these other guys, obviously I wouldn't argue against it. But Kevin Na, if you're up here, is the guy that I'm planting a flag with.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Like, obviously you can make John Rahm's a great play. I'm really tempted just to full fade John Rahm. If he wins, he wins. I'm just really tempted to do that because there are some 6K guys that I'll make arguments for later. Does it make me feel warm and fuzzy? Hell no. So we'll see how this plays out. Now, one thing I'll mention a lot, and I kind of mentioned this to Jesse earlier, is we don't have stroke gained data from Corrales and Puerto Rico. That's kind of your closest comps to this course for now, from what we're hearing from everybody. Again, we've never seen it, so who knows? So I kind of look at guys that have played well there. We know Finau, he won at Puerto Rico, but he's playing some really rough golf right now. So hopefully he turns it around. It's been better of late, don't get me wrong, but 10-4 if you want to. The Abe Answer question, you mentioned 33rd of the players, but he played Augusta, but he pulled out the week before and the week after. So I don't know where he's at. He's obviously going to play this he's going to try to because he's from Mexico. So the answer is intriguing, but I'm with you. The guy I had start here is Kevin Na. He's coming in playing the best form in this 10K range. T26 at the Heritage, T14 at the Masters. He's a dude that loves to get paid, and I feel like he can actually win this tournament, as silly as that sounds. And he's top, 25 to 30 in most major categories I'm looking at, which is pathetic to say for a 10K guy, but here we are. So Kevin Na is the guy I have checked off as well. Now, 9K I can stomach a little more. I like taking price away. Just golfers I don't mind rostering, let's put it that way. You got Gary Woodland at 99, Sebastian Munoz at 98, Cam Tringali at 97, Chris Kirk at 96, Wise 95, Cam Champ 94, Brendan Todd at 93, Russell Knox 92, Streelman 91, Matt Jones at 9,000. Who you like in the 9K range?
Yeah, I agree, but I think this is where obviously a lot of chalk is going to be. Gary Woodland 9,900. You missed the cut at the Masters. It's not overly a huge deal. He was playing pretty good before that. 8th, 21st missed cut, 5th. So some decent form coming to the Masters, and then obviously missed the Masters there. So I think he's fine. Tringali at 80 or 97. 12th place at the Heritage, which was his last start. He's been sketched before that. He was a really low price at the Heritage there, and he paid off really well. So maybe he figured something out. Kirk at 96 is fine. Aaron Wise at 95. I'm just going to go to Russell Knox, I think. He can at times get hot with the putter and just go real low. And so I'm just going to assume maybe potentially that happens this week. I don't, obviously I don't know for sure. The one guy that like my model absolutely loves is Matt Jones. And typically, like, when my model loves somebody, like, they've not missed a cut, like, two tournaments ago. I mean, it was at the Players Championship. He finished second Texas Open, miscut the players, probably on the bad side of the draw. Shot 79 the first day, but actually shot 70 on the second day. But and then 52nd Arnold Palmer. I mean, he's just been up and down all year. It's sketch. But like the two guys that I would focus on, I think, are Woodland and Matt Jones. And I do like I said, Russell Knox too.
Yeah, 4 of the top 6 in my model reside in this range. Gary Woodland's number 1 in my model over the last 24 rounds, which is how he jumped John Rahm. Must be because of the way I weighted things out. But, he's 8th in driving distance in this field over the last 24, 7th in par 5, 4th in par 4s, 450 to 500, 4th in birdie, but 2nd in DK scoring in this field over the last 24 rounds. Should be very popular, but his rates out to be solid. Sebastian Munoz is 3rd. He rates out top 10 in 2, 4, 6, 7 categories I'm looking at. He's just balling out. The proximity game is on point. He's got C6 on opportunities gained, which you're going to want in a field like this. So Munoz is very intriguing at 98. I like the Tringali call. Kirk is 4th in my model, another guy that doesn't drive it a ton, but he's still 2nd in par 5 scoring over the last 24 rounds. 1st in DK scoring in this field over the last 24 rounds. 2nd in opportunities gained, 3rd in birdie or better. So I like Chris Kirk with you on that. Don't mind Aaron Wise. It feels like he's another popular name in this range outside of Gary Woodland. So that'll be interesting to see how that looks out. And then I'm with you on Rusty Knox. I've been playing him a ton. He's, he doesn't drive it far, but everything else is great. His iron play is great. His DK scoring is still 13th. So he's going to put up points in bunches for you. He's going to give himself chances. Let's put it that way. And that's big with Knox. And then I'm with you. Matt Jones is 6th in my model. He rates out well. Also, he's nothing like super flashy. He was like 15th in DK scoring. He's 16th on the par 4s we're looking at, 22nd in the par 5s. He just like kind of plods along, keeps himself out of trouble. We saw him when he won the Honda, I think, last year.
Yeah.
And he's like he's an Aussie boy. We know those guys can play in the wind. So if it does get windy, it might suit Matt Jones pretty well. So $9K for a guy many might not play in this range is quite intriguing. So I'm going to use a lot of this $9K range, mix and match, maybe overweight some based on ownership and underweight others. But there's a lot I like here. They check out really nice. It's a lot better than a lot of the guys up top. Like Rahm rates out great because that's what Rahm does. But the other guys aren't any flashy statistically, where these guys in the 9K range are coming in much better form, which is kind of terrifying. 8K, we got Gim at 89, Thigala at 88, Aaron Rye and his iron covers at 87. Ortiz, another Mexico boy here at 86, Riley at 85, CH3 at 84, Lanto at 83, Taylor Moore at 82, CT Pan 81, and Mark Hubbard at 8,000.
Rye also wears 2 gloves.
Yes, 2 gloves and iron covers. It's an impressive trait. Like guys at our local munis would probably get yelled at for stuff like that, but he gets away with it because he can actually play good golf.
So him and his partner, I can't remember who it was, they were pretty close, close enough, or relatively close, I guess, to the lead there after Saturday. And, I mean, the lead was like 4 or 5 shots or whatever by Cantley Xander, and it was pretty much over. But I think he's a guy, coming off a 29th place finish at the Texas Open that, could be sneaky. I think a lot of people will go to Thigala just for the namesake. Obviously had a really good showing almost 3 months ago now at the Waste Management. Since then, he's been okay. I mean, the Valspar finished 7th, 4 straight made cuts, which is a lot better really than some of these 9K guys who, I mean, a lot of them don't even have 4 straight made cuts, which is pretty scary. And I can't, I've gone through every single name below that, and I can't make a case for any of these guys. I can't do it.
I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try.
I'll listen to you because you probably have some better takes. But I was going through and I'm like,
it's bad.
I can't click on why is Taylor Moore $8,200?
Yeah, well, he played well last week. I know that much. But if in my model he ranks 50th, it's nothing great. But his proximity from 175 to 200 is 10th in the field, 3rd and over 200 yards.
3 straight missed cuts.
But yeah, I was gonna say he's 112th in DK scoring. So that's bad. 119th in par 5 scoring. So some of the key things you want to be successful on DK, not great. But he's also 37th in driving distance. If you want to treat this more like a Corn Ferry event, I bet you we did pretty well in Corn Ferry Tour. Just gonna throw that out there. This is a pure speculation thing. So I'm with you. It's tough. Taylor Moore, I think, is one of those super GPP guys because when he's playing hot, he goes low, really low. But then he also can miss multiple cuts in a row, like you were saying. So Like this is not a cash game week. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now.
Yeah.
This is terrifying for cash. But I think the Gall is still in play. He'll be very popular, like you said. But when you're talking about guys with form, he's there. And I don't mind Aaron Wright. He's 10th in my model. He's first in proximity over 200 yards. He's 6th in DK scoring in this field over the last 24 rounds. So I don't mind Aaron Wright. It's like giving him a hard time. Like he's 20th in par 5 scoring as well. He's going to get the job done more often than not. What about Carlos Ortiz, though? Coming in horrific form. But it's like, if anybody knows this course better than maybe Abe Answer, you would think it would be Ortiz. I know there's a couple dudes in the 6K range that got sponsors exemptions. They play on the Latin American tour. They probably know it even better than these guys. But let's just like say for PGA Tour players, not many do, I'm guessing.
I mean, I wanted to click. Like, yeah. I clicked on Ortiz, Narrative Street, so on and so forth. 4 straight missed cuts. He hit under 50% of the greens at the Heritage, which I know they're not huge, but that's still terrible. I mean, he hasn't hit more than 70% this year. It's just not good. I mean, obviously, I think that GPP, sure, throw him in 1 or 5 or whatever if you're doing 150, but yeah, I can't.
Guess who's 5th in this field in DK scoring the last 24 rounds? CH3. I'm just going to guess it for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is the only fun part about making this model is you see things like what, given if you put a regular field, he probably ranks like 38th or something. Right. But still in this field, he's 5th.
It was that Texas Open where he finished 4th.
Yeah. In this field, he's 28th in driving distance, which is a little surprising. 1st in birdie or better. He could be one that might come in low owned, actually, because you got Lanto right next to him. People love Taylor Moore, even though we're talking about him. So I think CH3 at 84 is an intriguing option if you want to play the ownership for a low 8K guy. The other two, I like CT Pan. I'll keep rolling him out. He's 9th in my model. He's 12th on approach. Like he's top 25 or 30 in a lot of the categories I'm looking at proximity-wise. He's 20th in DK scoring in this field. So he's a guy that doesn't like – there's like no real pink on his chart, which is odd for anybody in this field. So I like CT Pan. And then Mark Hubbard, I love playing in events like this. In Birdie Fest, his putter can be very rocky at times. He doesn't drive it very far. That's his big bugaboo. But other than that, 27th in DK scoring, 23rd in proximity, 175 to 200. Really good on approach shot from Hubbard. He's played well in Corrales and Puerto Rico in his career, like really well. So I think Hubbard at 8,000 is another option if you need someone to go super low. He's a birdie man or a missed cut. That's what he's either on or he's just destructive. So I'll take my chances with Hubbard at 8K. 75 to 79, you got Lahiri, Ramy, Smotherman, Long, Stallings, Lipsky, Patrick Rogers, Clark, Lashley, Poston, and Flat Bill Pat Perez. Jesse, anybody here intrigue you?
Yeah, I mean, I like more guys here than I do in the 8K. Lahiri at 7,900, 3 straight made cuts for him on tour. I think it was 3. Yep, 4. Excuse me. Yeah, played, at the Players Championship, finished 2nd, obviously, whatever. But Texas Open, 13th, a couple windy events there. So if the wind is a factor. Adam Long at 7,800, just for Adam Long, he's had a really good year, 12th, 35th, miscut, 46th, 32nd, going back to the API. So, I mean, that's pretty solid for a dude who's 7,800 in this field. Lipsky at 7,700. Him and his partner played pretty well last week. He's coming off a miscut in his last event, which was the Texas Open, but finished 7th, Corrales.
There you go.
And then had a couple made cuts before that. And then last but not least, Pat Perez at 7,500. He is underpriced here in this field. If I'm playing 150 lineups, I might put him in 75.
It sucks because he doesn't rate out well for me here, but it's because his last 3 tournaments have just been horrific. But prior to that, I was playing phenomenal golf, really good golf for Flat Bill.
Yeah.
So I think his stats are a little skewed in my mind, and he loves playing these kind of events. He loves Mexico. So this is the perfect. If anybody loves resort golf courses, Pat Perez is near the top of the list for me in these scenarios. So $7,500, you're just begging me to play him. So I'm intrigued with you as well. I think Nate Lashley is interesting. 20th in my model. He's an 8th in opportunity gained. His approach on the 2 proximities I'm looking at, 10th and 17th. He really actually rates out really well on everything but driving distance. He's 100th in driving distance, but a lot of these guys, if they're really good in the longer approaches like he is, that negates a lot of it. So I think Nate Lashley at 75 is quite interesting. I have Lipsky circled just because of the success he's had recently at Corrales, like you mentioned. Otherwise, it's been a rocky road for him. Scott Stallings somehow ranks 19th in my model. I never get Scott Stallings right, so I'm terrified of that one. I'll be totally honest. The one that's really funny, Jesse, is Smotherman's 5th in my model. And yeah, he's 3rd on approach, 5th in par 5 scoring, 4th in proximity 175 to 200, 6th in 200 plus, 9th in opportunities gained in this field. Can't putt worth a lick. He's horrible around the green. Everything else rates out really well. So I don't know what to do. I guess I play him, but
Yeah.
that's a real, like, everything rates out top 30 in like every other category except around the green and putting. It's like, it's pretty wild to see Smotherman right there. So the only other guy, if you want to follow the Corrales Puerto Rico narrative, Chad Ramy finished 2nd at Corrales this year. So, and he's 3rd in par 5 scoring, 2nd in birdie or better, 10th in DK scoring last 24 rounds. So be another guy to look at. Like, I'm going to name off a lot of dudes because I'm going to play a lot of multi-entry, and I'm literally to be like 15% of this guy, 10% of it. I'm just going to mix and match all kinds of crap because this feels like a just throw it in the pot and see what happens week.
Yeah, I'm with you.
7K to 74. What you got here?
Brandon Wu, 7,300. I like more guys down here too than I do in the 8K range again. But
well, these guys are wild cards. Like, this is what's fun about it. Like,
well, yeah, but they're also playing better.
True.
I mean, that you got maybe some bigger names in that 8K range, but these guys are playing better. Brandon Wu finished 28th in Corrales, Valspar 33rd, Puerto Rico 3rd. He did have 6 straight miscuts before that, but we're not really going to harp on that. Grayson Sigg at 7,300. He's been playing pretty solid all year long. 4 straight made cuts for him. He did miss the cut at the Honda, but had 5 or 4 straight made cuts before that. So, just a solid play there at 73. T Dunks, Tyler Duncan at 7,200, coming off a 12th place finish at the Heritage. Did miss the cut at the Texas Open, but had 3 straight made cuts and 3 straight top 35s before that. So he's solid. Bramlin at 7,100. Probably not had the year that everybody thought he would, but is still pretty solid for somebody's a first timer on the PGA Tour as far as having his card and stuff. Kind of up and down. He has made cut, miscut, made cut, miscut. But I think he's fine, especially at $7,100 in this field. Robert Streb's been playing pretty solid lately too. $7,000 for him. 42nd at the Heritage, missed the cut Texas Open, 7th at the Valspar. I think he was in the mix for a little bit at the Heritage and kind of fell off on the weekend. And then Uline at 7,000. I think he's fine too. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather go 9K and then 7K these guys and just skip the damn 8K range.
Yeah, I like some of the 8K, but I don't disagree with what you're saying either. That's what's so fun about this week. One guy I'm surprised you didn't say, because you've been all over him lately, is Chappie. Chappie was like 16th at Puerto Rico, 18th at Valero his last 2 tournaments. He's playing really good golf for Chappie.
Is he? He's not in the field anymore.
Oh, it's still on my model. That's why I didn't know. He's not in the. God damn, that would have been a great 74. He was 16th in my model.
No, he was high in mine too, but I think he has withdrawn. Let me confirm that.
They must not have Fantasy National has not updated that yet, because I was like, I'll get him. I'm like, guarantee you, Jesse's going to mention Chappell. That's his boy.
Him and Nick Hardy withdrew ahead of the Mexico
take the
Open.
Star off of that one. Alex Smalley at 74. Again, a guy that coming in, he's a birdie maker type dude that has been playing well in these Corrales, Puerto Rico type events. I can't click him because I don't know what he's been doing in Europe. I'll have to look it up later, but my boy is down here at $7,400 RCB. How he's fallen this far is beyond me.
I'm with you,
but it's crazy. But Adam Svinson, I think he's gonna be very popular down here. He's 15th in my model. Great approach game, 9th in approach in this field, 15th in birdie or better. He's a really good play. I have Grayson Sigg as well. I like that a lot. He's 10th in birdie or better in this event, 12th in DK scoring. He's the total. Thank God we don't have. I always call it shot tracker, but thank God we don't have that, because he will tilt your head off. It'll be like eagle, birdie, birdie, triple, double, birdie. That's Grayson Sigg style. But he's a DK scoring machine. He's played really well in these resort courses. So I like that call at $7,300. T Dunks, 18th in my model, 7th in DK scoring in this field. Great in the proximity ranges. He's 70. I got him checked off at 72. Kurt Kitayama, he played well last week also. He's 8th in my model, 8th in proximity, 175 to 200, 10th in driving distance in this field. So it's one of those, if he can just get the putter going, he's one of those guys that could take advantage of his length and his approach game here. So he's an interesting one for me. He's 13th in opportunities gained at 71 hundo. I like your call on Bramlett as well, 5th in this field in driving distance. Danny Lee's a guy that just suckers me in. He's 6th in birdie or better, 11th in DK scoring. It's just like, can he just not screw it up too much? Because he can go really low at times.
Yeah,
so 7,100 there. Chase Seifert and Uline will be two other guys I have checked off. Seifert, he's totally a hot or cold GPP play. Most of these guys are. And I like your Uline call. He's playing actually really good golf. He's 3rd in driving distance in this field. We played him, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was like 6K, and he was almost a first-round leader, I think, at one point. So, the fact he's only 7K in this field, I think, still underpriced. So I'm with you with PD Uline on that one. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. 6K range, Jesse. Who you got?
I'm not going to go too in-depth with these guys, but I am going to say Ryan Armour, $6,900. I think he's fine. Kiradech after Barnrot. He was the partner with Kitayama, I think, last week, and they made the cut.
Correct.
They finished almost dead last of those who made the cut, but he's made 3 straight cuts on tour. So Kiradech, Vincent Whaley, 6,800. I feel like that's an underprice on him. He's got 2 straight top 30s on tour coming into this event. Bo Hogue at 6,600, and that's it. I mean, I can't do it much more than that, man.
All right. I got Vaughn Taylor at 6,900, 12th in my model. He's always played good on these, even Pebble if you want to throw short ocean courses, but then, Corrales, Puerto Rico, he always goes to those events and makes cuts at least, if not makes some runs. He's 6th in proximity, 175 to 200. So, do I think Vaughn Taylor wins it? No. Do I kind of, out of all the guys in 6K, do I kind of feel comfortable with him making a cut more than most? Yes. So that's where Vaughn Taylor comes into play. Vincent Whaley I had checked off as well because he's just a dude that 4th in par 5, 15th in op gain. If he can just get his approach game on, very intriguing with him. And then here's where the fun begins. I told Jesse before the show that someone in the 6K range ranks 1st in par 5 scoring, 1st in proximity, 175 to 200 over the last 24 rounds. You have any guesses?
Mullinax?
Robert Garrigus, Mr. I want to go play in the
when the fuck is the last time he played?
He played last week in the partner thing. I'm pretty sure they made the cut. But he was 36th at Corrales, 66th at Puerto Rico, 16th at Pebble, 46th at Bermuda, 31st at Barbasol, 64th at Palmetto. So he's technically made 6 straight cuts on tour. And that's almost a year worth of golf. But most of those are the similar courses we're looking for. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, I mean, opposite field events, you got Barbasol on there, and then Puerto Rico, Corrales,
Yeah, so he, for 66 hundo, slightly intrigued, I'll be honest.
I've just checked him off, so if I do 150, he's gonna get in there.
He's 25th in driving distance, 18th in DK scoring, given his 24 rounds are way different than everybody else's, but that's what we're looking for this week. Wesley Bryant, another guy, struggled at Heritage, but he finished top 5 or 10 at Corrales. He's a guy that it's all about approach game for him, and he's pretty solid there. Scott Guchewski, we've been talking about him once in a while in some of these fields. He's another guy that driving distance is strong. Just can he get the putter going? Horrific putter. So keep him in mind. And then I said there's guys I love at Corrales and Puerto Rico, and I've always put at least one lineup in every one of those tournaments, regardless of how much research I do. And there's one guy I lock in every single time because for some reason he shows up at those 2 courses no matter what. Scott Brown is $6,400. He loves playing those courses. He's 9th in birdie or better his last 24 rounds on tour. He's at 36th in my model. Really good approach game. If you want to punt at 64, you can. I did not look at anybody lower than that because I pray to God I don't have to go down there. But we'll see how things go. But there's a couple. The Garrigus one I literally had triple take, and it's hilarious. But for a tournament, I'll roll those dice because he is a birdie monster if he can somehow just keep it in range, which is interesting. All right, we're not playing cash this week.
No,
we already agreed to that because that is a bad move.
Are we going to recap?
Yes, we will. But I'm just reminding people we are not playing cash this week, so do not prepare for that. 10K and above. Who's your one pick?
Sorry, I thought you were going to go straight into like who would you pick for GPP?
I thought about it, but you got me good.
Kevin
10K
Na.
and above.
Kevin Na's my guy.
Yeah, I'm with you. To be different, I'll say Abe Answer, but watch the news because I think if he's healthy, he should be phenomenal here. But I'm still wondering what his health status really is. 9K range. Let's go with 2 since we both like this range so much.
Matt Jones and then Russell Knox.
Love the Jonesy call. I'll go Woodland, even though it's going to be super chalky. Super chalky. I'll go Woodland and Chris Kirk, but there's a lot to like. If you guys listen to that thing, I have 4 of the top 6 in my model are in that range. 8K range. You don't like anybody, but who's your first pick?
Thigala. I mean, I do. I like Thigala and Rye, and that's it. I don't want to play anybody else.
I don't mind those. To be a little different, I'll go with like CT Pan and Hubbard, but you got the top. I got the bottom of the 8K range. 75 to 79.
Perez.
Austin Smotherman. I got to follow my rankings here. He's 5th in my model. So let's go, kid. 7K to 74.
Sig.
I like the Sig call. I'll go Kittyama. I'll go with Kitty. But there's a lot. The more we talked about that range, it's actually quite enticing to make it more of a Starsy Scrubs type approach. They're like 9K guys, like you said. 6K, who you got?
I'm just going to say Ryan Armour because he's the highest rated golfer that I have in this range.
Robert Garrigus, everybody. Bobby G, Mr. Saudi Arabia is my guy. All right. Now, if you had to start a GPP lineup, who you starting out with?
I got Matt Jones, Thigala, and Grayson Sig.
I'm just going to start out with Sebastian Munoz, Matt Jones, and Robert Garrigus. Figure the rest out from there, folks. That's about as GPP as you can get. If he got winning this thing.
No fucking clue. I mean, Kevin Na's 20 to 1.
Cam Tringali is tied with Woodland, Answer, Na at 20 to 1. Yeah. That tells you a lot right there.
I mean, Finau at 25 now. That's got, like, if you're just straight betting,
it's got legs to it.
That's got value there. Because, I mean, if we're going to put Tony Finau, but whatever.
Matt Jones is 65.
Matt Jones is 65. Has got a little bit there. I wouldn't mind at all. Knox at 70 is not terrible. He just never wins ever. So, I mean, you could play like, the top 20s or whatever with some of these guys. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I just need to tell people not to bet this and save it for next week's going to be a good week. Wells Fargo, Potomac. We've had some golf tournaments there, so we know what it's like.
Yeah, true. I will say this much: if I'm going to follow my model, Smotherman is plus 350 to top 20. He's 5th in my model, and then the one we all want to know, Garrigus is plus 500, plus 50. I mean, or plus he's 5 to 1, 5 to 1 to top 20.
Yeah.
Say, I swear to God, if he plays well this week, I am not expecting a lot. Just make the cut. I'd be happy.
He's gonna come out and shoot 82 the first day.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll just like put my phone away for the week. 'Cause we'll be like trying to watch on our phone, but we can't because it'll be like shot 2 from the fairway, and now we have to wait 45 minutes for the next shot.
We're not gonna have any shot link this week.
I'm assuming we won't if we can't get it at Corrales and Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
I thought the excuse was because it was an alt field event, but. Do you think they figured this out by now?
I mean, you would. I wonder if we're gonna have PGA Tour live then.
Yeah, because that's the highlights. Like the highlights of my Thursday and Friday has been able to like track my golfers and full tilt it while I'm working because I can't watch it. So I literally just have my phone. I'm constantly checking where they're at on the golf course.
Yeah.
When I can't do that, it really ruins my Thursdays and Fridays. I'll be honest, it really does. But we'll see how that goes. And I think we've killed enough time on this tournament.
I'm with you.
Dustin, thanks for the nice comment in the chat.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir. Thank you, Dustin.
We'll keep that coming for you. But we tried to make this as entertaining as possible. We'll still giving you the info the best we could, guys. So if you have any further questions, though, come join us in the free Fantasy DJs Discord. It's always popping over there for something. Baseball's going crazy right now. A lot of new people in there, so come join us for golf if you like as well. I'll try to throw some ownership tidbits in there Wednesday night if I have time because I am serious about potentially, especially in that 9K range where there's a lot of guys I like to be a little different there. But check Jesse out on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. I'm at BD Intric, and like he said, next week we have a better golf tournament. So we'll be back with you guys with some more fun. But for now, this was your 2022 Mexico Open preview. Catch y'all later.